Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann, your host here, where I'm trying to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finance. And there's this topic that I really like, these Ionic foot baths. And I'm going to go through this with you. Do they work? Do they not work? Here's the thing. Everything I could see and read on the internet says, it probably doesn't work. But I have used this myself, and I had my family use this. And I feel like I can put together a better scientific experiment. I haven't done it yet. Maybe I should have done this before the podcast. But what I would like to do, or what I have seen, is when we use the same water, the same salt, the same device, but different feet, the water looks different. So I take my son, who's been diagnosed with Crohn's. It looks, super gooey, and he says he sees different things in it. Like, potentially he's seen some dead worms. I don't know if that's true. It'd be weird that it would come through your skin, but I put my feet in it, and it looks different. It's usually a lighter brown. My other son put his feet in it. It was a deep brown. So it's gone from black and green to brown to light brown. So does it work? Well, if I'm repeating the experiment over and over with different feet, and it comes up different every time when we're using the same spigot, so we're on well water that's been filtered, and we're using the same table salt or iodized salt, then if everything is set up the same, the controls, except the people are different, and what you see in the bucket is different, then I would suspect that it does work. Now, when I put my feet in it over and over and over, it looks the same for me. So my results are always the same. Evan's results are pretty much always the same. So we have consistency between the subjects, but inconsistency in what's in the water, which is what you want. If it's doing something, it should do it differently for everybody. Evan's got a lot more stuff going on. Levi's got some stuff going on. My daughters, the ladies here have done it, and it looks different. So I'm going to say for me, for what I see, the visual indication of what's going on in the bucket, that yes, this works, but everything I found on the internet says, it probably doesn't work. So take this with a grain of salt. I am not a doctor, so, you figure out your own health. I'm going to walk you through some of the stuff that I've done. So should you do this? Man, it's up to you. Give it a shot. Why not? I don't think it can hurt. I don't see anything in this that says it's dangerous. I did see one or listen to one video, and it was saying that if you are highly in a toxic environment and you do this, it could, because it's adding more toxins around you, be bad. I was thinking, well, it doesn't make sense, because if those toxins are coming out of your body, then they were already in your body. So I don't know if I agree with that statement. And there's a lot of stuff on the internet is just written because it's written and it sounds good. Okay, so the Ionic foot bath, what is it? So it's a bucket that you put water and salt in, and then this metal array. And metal array, think of it as a hollow baseball or a wiffle ball or a pickleball. So it kind of looks like a pickleball with a couple more metal runs in it. And it's going to use electricity, positive and negative ions, to pull stuff out of your feet. So they market it as a way to detox your body because, again, it's pulling stuff out of your feet. The idea is if you're standing all the time, then the heavier stuff in your body, which would be toxins and heavy metals and so forth, would sink to the bottom of you, which is your feet. Thus, if you stuck your feet in it, you could pull stuff out. Now, you could put your hands in here, but you have to stay in it for about 30 minutes. So if your hands are in it, then no iPhone, right? And so you're going to be pretty bored. The water does turn brown and bubbly and sludgy, and that's what people are saying is the toxins. Again, for me, for the 6 people in my family, the water looks different than the other 6 people, the other 5 people. So I feel like it's doing something. Plus, my feet feel really good. It could just be that they've been cleansed or soaking in salt water, but they look lighter and they feel like a layer of skin has been taken off. Okay, it works by the machine running an electrical current through that metal array, and it's going to, because of this current, create a chemical reaction in the water. So as it goes through the device, it hits one side of the plate, and it's going to, depending on how you set it up, you can create negative ions or positive ions. Actually, I had a video, I think it's this one right here. The lady was talking about it here. Yeah, so, you have positive side, and the array doesn't look like this every time. It can, mine looks like a purple ball. Okay, so here you go. So it's going to create 4H2O, giving plus 4 electrons, which is going to divide itself up into would it be hydrogen? No, dihydrogen. What is H2? Hydrogen, and 4 oxygen, hydrogen. So it's different combinations. The other way to do it is on a negative side. So you're generating the negative ions, and it's going to create oxygen, and then I think 4H would be peroxide is H2O2. Anyway, the idea is it's creating a negative or positive ionic environment, and that's what's grabbing stuff out of your feet. So if you have a chemical process, actually, this is really cool. I should show you guys this. Okay, this isn't the video I wanted. I've seen one before at a wastewater treatment facility where they were doing a thing. Was it wastewater? Anyway, some sort of facility. But this gets the point across. So there's a glass that's got a purple liquid in it. The guy's got a tube running in there, and he's going to pump in some ozone, O3. And that's it wants to be O2. That's much more stable. So the extra oxygen is going to bind to something. And well, watching the video, you're going to see that it's going to change the color from purple to clear. And so kind of that's what it's doing in your body. Not exactly this, but you get the idea. Okay. So what else? The color change is supposedly stuff coming out of your body, but it is also those plates rusting. So it's oxidation and corrosion of the electrodes, not your body, or is it your body? And that's the real question. Again, I feel like if it was just the array, then the 6 people in my family would have the exact same results. Now, I did try this. I took the array, put it in the water, turned it all on. Nothing happened. But ours comes with a strap for grounding out your wrist. Weirdly, it didn't actually turn on until I put the grounding strip on. So when I did that, or helped it complete the circle with the strip, or pulled it out, the water changed color. So the water is changing color. So the electrode is reacting with the water. They do recommend you using distilled water because obviously there's less stuff in it. So the answer to it does do something on its own without human intervention is yes, which makes the whole thing suspect. Okay, everybody points to this 2012 study, and it was a peer-reviewed study. If you look at the study, it's not as stringent as you think. We think of study and we're like, oh, they must have really studied it. Usually when people put out studies, diet studies, health studies, whatever, it's like 3 people, right? So this is 31 participants did a 12-week session with the foot bath. So 31 participants. Well, I mean, that's more than one, but it's more than 6, but I don't know. To say that it's a peer-reviewed study and it did really well for 31 over 12 weeks, that just doesn't really sound good. There was no control group. They didn't really isolate a lot of the variables, and they can't. So they said it was a correlation. The water turned brown because we put the stuff in it, not a causation. Your foot is clean, like the water is definitely cleaning your foot. So it was, corollary in the terms of my foot felt clean. It's just because it was in the bath. Versus causation, the thing caused my foot to be clean. So the study basically said, no, these things don't work. But I feel like I tried to find in the study, like what I would do, which I should do, is measure the water, the bulb, and see, or the array, and see how much it is. Then do the thing and make sure you scrape your foot off really good and get all the water and the particles off of it without adding water to the bucket, and then reweigh it. If it's heavier, then something came out of your foot. If it's not heavier, then nothing came out of your foot. My kids had a point. They're like, yeah, it's probably not heavy enough. And then my wife had a good point that our scales probably aren't delicate enough to actually read that sort of change. And they're right. Our scales go down to point something of a pound, which means it's not really measuring that point very accurately, 0.1 of a pound. And so is there 0.1 of a pound worth of change? Probably not. We're probably talking about something super minuscule in ounces. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple other things, but in a nutshell, should you try this? I think the answer is yes. Go ahead and give it a shot, especially if you can pay someone $20 and just use theirs and see how it goes. I think that's great. There's a lot of chiropractors and such that use it. Is it actually detoxing the pathways in your foot and pulling stuff out? I think it's yes, but it's probably no. And there are other ways you could detox. There's actually like liver detoxes, kidney detoxes. You could do saunas and sweat. You can eat better, which I think is huge. You can get better sleep. Of course, I love that part. And you can manage your environment. So I think you should do all those things first. So One of my buddies said, hey, what do you think about this supplement? So Ken Daniels is on this journey of let's get better. And he's like, what do you think about these supplements or things I can do to reduce the amount of soreness that I have? I'm like, hey, those are good. Have you done the big thing first? He's like, what's the big thing? I'm like, do you roll and stretch after? Have you tried yoga? Have you done, right? So the bigger things, he's like, yeah, no, I haven't done that. I'm like, yeah. So supplements, I think, do work to move the needle 1%. So do I want to have more, testosterone in my body, take some supplements? Sure. Or do the bigger thing, work out, eat better proteins, right? So do the big stuff first. I want to have a better financial picture. Okay, well, are you making money? That's a big thing. Are you saving money? That's a big thing. Are you trying to get out of debt? That's a big thing, right? Are you tracking your expenses? That's a big thing. So do the big things first. All right, so other things that I found. So this guy's video is pretty funny. He's selling something else. So he's like, no, this doesn't work, but buy my thing. So I always feel a little bit suspect on watching people's stuff where there's another thing to sell. This is a news from 7 years ago. So they, again, referenced that study, and it says, hey, does it actually remove the toxins? They didn't do any studies. They just looked at the study. So they're just reporting what the 31 people found in those people. So I don't know. I just don't feel like that was like a solid play there. All right. I got a couple other websites I'm going to show you too. Okay, so this is another one saying, hey, bottom line, what do we think about this? They did all these research. Every time I look at these websites, they all point back to the 2012 study. So I don't know. I just don't like it when everyone uses the exact same source and we don't know that it's their source. Okay, so you may be thinking, well, Andy, how do you know that they're using the same source? Well, right here it says in an older 2012 study. So they're using that to pull the data. They're just making it interesting. Their thing is, should you use it? I'm like, I don't know. Are there risk and warnings? So this is what I have been finding more and more of this. There's very little risk according to what they're saying, for using this. They said some people could feel nauseous, dizzy, and vomiting. I've got a pretty sick, they say he has Crohn's. It expresses like Crohn's. So it's pretty sick. He doesn't really get this way. So, if he could do it, then it's probably fine. They do mention something about having diabetes in this. I couldn't see any other proof or any other websites or anything pointing to that as well. Here is the study. I did take it and I ran it through ChatGPT, and it actually said the same thing that I thought when I was reading through it. It's like, it's just not that broad and encompassing, but this is how most of those studies are done. Again, just to kind of be funny, here's another website that says, hey, a small old study in 2012. Oh, and this one actually says with only 6 participants were tested. So maybe the 31, I might have misread that. It could have been 6 people over 12 weeks, did it a certain number of times. So it was 31 samples, not 31 participants. But either way, what I'm finding is that there just isn't much research done on this. There's another one where they did a pH study. So I don't know. I guess that's true. The pH would change. But if you're running electrodes through water, it might just change the pH level on its own because of that. So is it an alkalizing process or not? This guy says yes. I don't know. And I just find this dumb right here. They say in this website, some studies have shown that it definitely does it, while others show that it definitely didn't. I'm like, well, where's the study and what did they do? And why didn't somebody just do a mechanical measuring? And I've searched Google, that sounds dumb. I've searched the web and I can't find anything where they actually did a measurement test, which to me, besides doing I've got 6 people, we all did it and we all came up with the different results. It seems pretty valid. Doing a weighing test would be pretty valid. Oh, and I found my gases. It's chlorine and ozone. So chlorine, not the best to breathe in, but it's pretty small. So I would say the worst thing you could do is do it in like a bathroom with the door shut. So it's one of those bathrooms that's just the toilet. So sitting on the toilet and having your feet in there, that would probably be bad. Although I don't know if the chlorine that it's generating is that much. But anyway, you should probably have it well ventilated when you use this. Okay, so the other thing about the array that they drop in, typically that metal, I think it's just steel. And it's releasing when you put these ions across it. It's going to do what metal typically does. So it's going to release Fe, which is iron, Ni, which is nickel, Cr, which I think is chromium, and Cu, which is copper. So you're going to have these bits floating around in there. That's not from your foot. That's just what happens when you take, it's like a Navy ship. When you put a Navy ship, or any ship, I guess, in water, it's fully metal. Salt wants to eat that stuff, right? So there's a process of rusting going on, and putting electricity across it can speed that up. Now, interesting, if you have a motorboat and you're driving salt water through your engine, what they'll do is put a plate of something else that is a lot more, it wants that electrolysis to happen. So the plates, I think usually nickel, and it'll eat the plate up, and you have to switch the plates out. That way it doesn't eat your metal bits of your engine out. All right, so some just other random thoughts as I go through my research. This isn't in the research, but I just saw them, like, how to dispose of the water. So I was pouring it out in the backyard, and I saw the dogs over there digging on it. So I guess it was attracting them, and they're like, oh, what is this? I think I'd like to dig. And so, of course, they dug a hole. My wife came up with an ingenious plan. She's like, well, just pour it down the toilet. So if you know the way a toilet works, when you put too much water in the pot, it will force itself to flush, because it's just an equation, PV equals nRT. So it's just, there's some pressure and there's a volume, and it'll push when you have enough. So if you pour it into your toilet, it's going to fill the bowl up, and or the basin, whatever the thing you actually go to the bathroom in, and that will flush itself. Now, there'll probably be a ring around your toilet from the brown junk, so flush your toilet again. But you can flush it down. I have septic, and so far everything's fine. I mean, it's in your body, it's coming out. It can't be worse than poop in the septic tank, right? I will say this for the whole experience. You're sitting with your feet in warmish water, relaxing. And that can't be bad, because if you look at the 5 or 6 pillars of health and fitness, is how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. So part of that in the sleep is the stress response. Relaxing will reduce that stress response. So I think it's pretty good. All right, and I think I'm going to end on this. So this is the one that I purchased. It's called the Ionic Foot Bath Detox Machine Super Duty Array for Professionals and Home Use. It's got, where is it? 426 reviews, and it's at a 4.0. It costs $169. Is it the one you should get? I don't know. Does it even work? I don't know. I will say this is super weird. They put in there some premium fine salt. The salt they gave me was not salt to be used with this. Actually, this is not the one I used. That's a different array. Hold on, let me find the one. There we go. This is it. I thought the price was off. So it was $144. It's still pretty expensive. But this one's called the Ultimate Ionic Ultimate Ionic Foot Bath Detox Machine. There we go. And so yeah, the salt they give you there is Epsom salt. It is not for the machine. It's for like a Epsom salt bath. I don't know why they would give you salt that doesn't work. I've read the reviews, and they're like, it doesn't work, because they're using the salt that they gave them. So it's this little gray or purple array. I've got a couple of those, so I think they're good for about 30 uses, then you have to replace them. We'll probably still use it. I don't have a link or I get nothing out of that. I do stuff for y'all. So there's no click this first. If you want to go to Amazon and buy it, great. If you don't, I don't care. If you want to go to a friend's and use it, totally fine. I would definitely say use somebody else's first, like, the chiropractor or whatever. So the other thing, if you look at this, I talked about cleaning up and pouring it down the toilet. They give you these trash bags to put over the tub. That way the goo is on the trash bag, held by the tub, not in the tub itself. And that way you can pour it out easier and throw that liner away. Even when we do that, there seems to be some amount that weirdly makes it through. I don't know if it's spilled or whatever, but I guess I don't watch when my kids actually use it. The whole process is pretty clean and it's pretty fast. Yeah, like I said, it takes about 30 minutes to sit in this thing and let it just do its process. The setup of it, once you get the water warm, is maybe 5 minutes or less. So it's a pretty fast process. Okay, that is it. Ionic foot baths, are they good? Do they work? My family will continue to use them. I guess take that for whatever it's worth. And I can't see anything on here that has a negative health aspect. They're just not saying they have proven positive health aspect. All right, guys, if you're in Woodstock area, come to see us at CrossFit Garage. If you're not, we have garagefitness.online. You can listen to us on any podcast service, Food, Fitness, and Finance. You can also find us on YouTube at Andy McCann 42. And yeah, there you go. I do have a bunch of free resources. If you go to CrossFit Garage/free, let me pull that up actually. CrossFit Garage/free. Yep. So the Carnivore Kickstarter, 60 easy, 32 at-home workouts, Garage Fitness online, your blood pressure optimization, 5 pillars of health and longevity, the Lion Diet playlist, your personal expiration quiz, exercise at your desk, etc. So there's a whole bunch of stuff on there you guys can get to. If you need me, email me, Andy@CrossFitGarage.com. Take care.